Component 6. I think I could argue this is the most important component of all of them for your butterfly garden, and that is host plants. Now, if you didn't do the exercise in component 5, you're not going to be able to do this one. Because now what we have to do is figure out not only what butterflies live in your area, which hopefully you've already started doing, but now each of those species of butterflies has a corresponding host plant. And now we want to find out the host plants that will work best in your area for those local butterflies. Here I'm just giving you some basic examples, and this will kind of tell you what we're talking about. So for instance, monarchs, which are a species of butterfly called Danis plexippus scientifically, that live across most of the continental United States, and monarchs only lay their eggs on milkweeds. Now, there are hundreds of plants in the milkweed family, and depending on where you live, certain types of milkweed will be more common, or even some kinds will be native to your area. So if you were trying to attract monarchs, which if you are in the United States, this is probably going to be one of the first butterflies that you should be able to attract easily. There are only some places in the United States that don't get monarchs very often, and that includes the Pacific Northwest. So if you're in the Northwest, don't try this. But if you are in most of the eastern United States or the southern United States, monarchs are a great place to start. And in order to have monarchs, you need to have milkweed. Another common butterfly to the United States is called the cabbage white butterfly. And as many of you know from experience, cabbage butterflies eat cabbage. They eat broccoli and crucifers and other plants that humans grow for food, vegetables. These butterflies are actually native to Europe and were accidentally brought here on those foods about 100 years ago. And now they've taken off in the United States, mostly thanks to humans planting their host plants. So the reason you see these butterflies so much in urban areas or populated areas is people are planting their host plants, which are garden vegetables, and that's what allows them to survive. You might have thought that was a moth because a lot of people do, but I hate to tell you, these are actually butterflies. And for most of the United States, if you plant cabbage, you will have these butterflies. Also, these are one of the ones that can fly on cooler days. And so you might see them active on days that some of the other butterflies that live in your area are not actually able to fly. Many states in the United States attract there is a whole family of butterflies called fritillaries, which are generally orange and black, and there are many different kinds of fritillaries, but around the Gulf states, there's one called the Gulf fritillary, and they lay their eggs on passion vines. That's the plant they host on. So for instance, Passiflora incarnata, which is the one here in the picture, can be a host plant for them, but there are dozens of passion vines that will work for this butterfly. So if you want to just get this butterfly in your yard, you would plant passion vines. If you are in the eastern United States, you might recognize this big, beautiful black butterfly called an eastern black swallowtail. It lays its eggs on carrot family herbs, which can include parsley, dill and fennel. Dill and fennel. That's what I meant to say. I don't think I'm going to edit that out because that was funny. Okay, they lay their eggs on parsley, dill, fennel, and as far as wild weeds, they will even use Queen Anne's lace. If you're out in the western United States, like the Pacific Northwest and California, you might see one called the anise swallowtail, which will also use parsley, dill, fennel, and carrot family herbs, including Queen Anne's lace. Okay, so the moral of this segment and the last segment. So the moral of this segment and the last segment is it's important for you to know and identify your local butterfly species, maybe 5 of them that are pretty common, and then also to do a little bit of research to find out what their specific host plants are. You can see in the picture here, I have a little butterfly laying eggs on her host plant.